And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Scorpio, what are we looking at in this round of reads? This is going to be your one-to-one read for the month of June. Again, I'm more comfortable putting the one-to-one towards the beginning of the month just to assist with the flow of things. One-to-ones are a style of reading that I do where we have party A over here, party B over here, and trying to see what interactive dynamics are happening between the two. So as a caveat to this style of read, two main things, Scorpio. First, they tend to get called love readings as a phrase because of how direct the dynamics are between both persons. I tend to reject that term because it's not always lovely, right? We talk about everything that comes up at the table, not just, the rainbows and the butterflies. Second, it doesn't always have to be about love. Promise. It could be about family, friends, coworker, neighbors, somebody you just met. It just matters what's going on between party A and party B. What does that interchange? What does that exchange look like? So, as a preamble to the read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, even if it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you, mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs and none of the time to do that with any of them. Instead, we're going to lay our cards out on the table, and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we'll talk about it. Because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one. Yeah. So follow along with me in your one-to-one read for today, Scorpio, and let's see what the cards say. You're going to be over here. Your person's going to be over here. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Scorpio in this read. This one-to-one read. It's so hot in here, I swear. For the cards we need to see, please, for Scorpio in their read today. On this side. Okay. Strength, card of Leo, the power of persistence. What are we harnessing our inner voice around? The Magician. Oh, okay. Both of you are trying to make something happen. I think whoever is on that end, the other end of this read for you, Scorpio, they're hard insisting they're going to pursue a pathway. Your problem is kind of twofold, right? The first is this feasible? Because I see this as a big monumental task for the both of us to tackle together. And if so, do I have what it takes to make it through, right? Strength coming out. I don't think it's oppositional against that. That wasn't the vibe I was getting, but rather I want to support you in this dream and this aspiration and this goal. What does that tangibly look like, beyond all the good things that can be said or done? Okay, fair enough. That is still a form of support. Doesn't always have to be, the most upfront, non-confrontational energy, Scorpio. It just has to be there. And I think that you're trying to help in the best ways possible, at least from what I'm getting so far. So now that we had two parties on the board today, party A and party B, let's look at fronts and backs. The backs being defined as what's left out, what's left in the unsaid and left to the wayside. And the fronts, what's being most directly communicated between both parties, right? So those cards that we need to see, please. Fronts and backs for Scorpio in the one-to-one read today. For the cards we need to see, please. Fronts and backs for Scorpio in the one-to-one read. Okay, Seven of Cups. And why so? Why do we have this cheerful optimism? Okay, because you see the potential too. I like that. That's support. You're trying to show your support even if you identify the obstacle ahead of you. Queen of Pentacles. Was being directly communicated. Here's the breaks, right? I'm not trying to throw away your dream. In fact, I'm very much trying to support you. Here's what it would take, right? I want you to pursue this. I want us to pursue this. How do we maximize that? That Queen of Pentacles, we're talking coins, we're talking business, right? On their end, Six of Wands, okay, a breakthrough. How so? The World, okay, good, good. The highest even amongst the major arcana. So, I think it wasn't that you didn't support this person before, Scorpio. It was much rather you recognize that when they talked about this issue before, they just weren't ready, right? They first probably just came up in conversation of being a very mundane throwaway line, like, you know, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did blah, blah, blah. And you heard it, but at that time, you could clearly tell, even if this person has something planned out, they are not ready for it. Now we move to the here and now today, where your dynamic is with this person, and they finally feel like they had a breakthrough with you because they had a breakthrough decision for themselves. Right. You've always been supportive of them, but you were waiting for them to be ready because you could do everything on your end to help support this dynamic. However, if they're not ready, this won't work. And now that this person is finally digging their heels in and saying, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And they're not going back. This isn't, that plausible deniability throwaway line of, wouldn't it be funny if, no, it's not funny because we're doing this now. And I like that you were always serious from the get-go. You see the vision now, even more so than back then. But above all else, you believe that this person is ready because they believe that they're ready. So you are a great support team. And I'm very appreciative of that. And that person should be too. Next, reveal individual positions. Show the cards I want you to see, please. Individual positions between Scorpio and their person. What are the cards we need to see, please, on this read today? Okay. Didn't expect to see that one, but hey, it's fair. Seven of Swords. Okay. And now that they're ready, are you starting to get cold feet? Right? You're waiting on them to be totally and absolutely prepared. And now that it seems like it's actually in motion, while you have all the logistics mapped out, are you truly willing to follow through with it, Scorpio? I think that's probably why strength came out in the initial of, no, we told them to wait because they weren't ready, they didn't have the mindset, didn't have everything yet. And now that they're in peak position, am I ready to fulfill my end of that bargain on their end? Queen of Wands. Oh yeah, they're very much ready. They want to embrace what is right for them, what is right in this moment, and no take-backsies. Okay? So whatever this is going on between you and this person, Scorpio, originally you probably had more faith in them than they had in themselves. And now that they've definitely caught up and surpassed wherever you were back in that moment, in the here and now, you're now questioning, okay, do I really want to do this, or I really want to be here? And what does that look like? So, okay, I can understand that. Underneath it all, the Empress. The highest productivity, the best version of ourselves. Here saying, okay, if you're finally giving the best of you, I finally got to give the best of me here. And we're not going to talk as if this is a joke anymore or make this as a passing comment. Anytime you mention this, I'm going to think we're talking business. Now, what does that mean for both of us moving forward? Okay, fair enough. Now that we have two parties on the board, yourself and your person, Scorpio, let's look at what's happening in between. One towards the other, now one with the other. Show the cards we need to see, please, down the middle. What connects the bridging gap between Scorpio and their person in this one-to-one read today? What cards we need to see, please, between Scorpio and their person? Okay, Page of Swords. So both are watching the other intentfully, whichever word better fits. to say, okay, are you really about this? Because it took me a long time to get here. I think both are having that same kind of synopsis. Oh, this makes so much more sense now. Lovers, the card of Gemini, great to pull during Gemini season, but let's pull a little bit more before I say what I have to say here. Six of Cups, because I always wanted you to be there with me. The Two of Swords, what is this feeling? What does it actually mean? And the Five of Pentacles, the fear of being left behind. Okay, got it. And underneath it all, the Knight of Cups, trying to show the best and most emotionally vulnerable versions of ourselves. This kind of changes what I'm going to say now. Okay. Because originally I thought this was just a business plan. No, we have somebody who is either talking about is definitely the deepening of a relationship, if not a potentially a proposal of marriage. But because I couldn't understand earlier why, this was a joke when there was there was no animosity here. There's no animosity at all. But rather, okay, this one person is, spewing out these, profound ideas, and you know what you heard back then, and now you know what you're hearing now, but they're more than ready. They made the decision, and now you're getting cold feet. Okay, this makes so much more sense. Well, if the question is about love, well, we just got to ask, how do we feel about it? Right? I know it took a while for whoever this party is to finally buckle down and say, I'm doing this. I get it, Scorpio. You have your reasons to be skeptical because it's like, it took you long enough, but I almost drove halfway across the highway, right? Yeah, and that's probably where the Five of Pentacles is coming in, is that I originally waited so long for this, and now that you're ready, I don't even know if you're serious about it. So that's where the doubt starts to seep in, right? Because both parties are afraid of being left behind. For them, it took so long to get to this point. For you, you're like, I've waited for so long, I don't know if you're serious right now. This makes sense. Okay. And I don't want you to approach it with, just pure skepticism, but you have a right to your emotions, right? You have a right to feel the way you feel in this regard, because again, you've been waiting for a while. And it's great that they made this decision that we, kind of talked about one night together or whatever happened between you two. But now, push comes to shove, are we really doing this together? I understand. So please find the major arcana strewn across the table as we look towards resolution in this read. We will start with, I want to see where your mindset is, Scorpio. So we'll start with that Strength, the card Scorpio, and move forward. The Strength, the card of Leo. Could be talking to a Leo right now, but that's not functionally relative. The question is Fortitude. Do we have what it takes? Why did that rate? Not going to count it. Do we have what it takes to pursue something that's quote unquote been on the table for, I want to say, years now, between you and another person? Show us cards we need to see, please. What's happening for Scorpio and your person in this 1-1 read today? Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Because we mapped this out before. Tried and true, we've had this conversation before. And I was preparing, and back then you may not have been that way. So, okay, we're doing this again. Do I have genuine material reason to believe that you have changed? Do you want this for real? Next, let's look at the Magician. Okay. That is a very interesting take. The Five of Cups. So normally one of sorrow and sadness. Here, we're trying to push past it and make amends. The thing is, I don't think the person's trying to bulldoze or BS you, Scorpio, but rather the fact of, I know my hesitation has caused pain in our dynamic. I know. And I can't guarantee you it'll all be perfect afterwards. I want you to know that that is an honest answer that they're having right now. But beyond that, they're going to give it their best shot. I think it's better to talk about all the dynamics, all the good things, all the bad things that can happen, just to make sure we're on the same page, have that line of communication open to the world. So what's coming? Four of Cups. Okay. was completely over the cycle of dissatisfaction and disappointment. So the reason that the 4 cups and the 5 cups are different, if you wanted to check out the Learn With Me series, I try to break down all the cards in the tarot deck. What makes the 4 cups and 5 cups different here? The 5 cups is like pain and despair in its rawest and purest form, right? The conflict, the emotional dragging, the this is never going to get better, et cetera, et cetera. The 4 cups is the apathy, the numbness, the disdain that was had over time, right? There's a time-based element built into that. And that's what I'm saying. It took this person a very long time, almost like they were dragging their feet, just to make the decision that they kind of raised in joking matter between you two so many times it became kind of numbing. So I can understand. I can also understand why even now, even with all the good feelings you're trying to provide towards this, there's a level of healthy and justified skepticism that you have, Scorpio. I don't want you to minimize your analysis just because they said yes. You have a reason to feel the way you're feeling right now. And to the Lovers, the Hermit, the desire to heal, the desire to make it right. In resolution, so 9 of Swords, so now all our nightmares and anxieties are starting to come out. And Strength, again, do we have the power to push past this, or is this just another joke that's going to get cast to the wind? Underneath it all, King of Wands, we have the capacity to do better, much better for and between each other. Now it's about living in that truth. Here's what's going on in your read today, Scorpio. I get why you're skeptical. Starting from the top, what was kind of joked around between you and another person for a while has been left in stagnation for so long. That level of skepticism has come in when they finally decided that they're going to put their foot down and say yes. It seems like this is a more intimate partner dynamic between you and them, where on your end, you always knew it was a possibility, but now you're like, okay, what does that tangibly look like? What's your game plan? What do you want from this? And it's not that you're distrustful because of, pure intentionality. You believe that they're moving in a different type of manner and that they're serious this time. It's just that we have waited on this for so long. I've waited on your answer for so long. I have a healthy level of skepticism when it comes to you and us, right? So down the middle, what's shared between you two, both of you want each other and want to be in each other's lives. The confusing part is, if now, then why not yesterday, right? I think that this person is being very genuine. However, both you, before we just decide to say yes, we got to be directly confrontational towards all our pain and all our fears, because otherwise it's just going to hang over us in the background and we won't be able to get anything done. For where you want to go, and it seems that you both want to go together, you're still approaching it from a space of lack, a space of fear, a dynamic of, oh, this is walking on eggshells before everything cracks and breaks. And the reality is, in order to make it work, we have to get the tough part out of the way first. It might be some honest and painful conversations that we need to have, but that's the only way it's going to work out. So that's what I got for you and your read today, Scorpio. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, is it tough? Yes. Do you have a level of healthy skepticism? Also, yes. Now the question becomes, with all the factors at play, what are we left to do? What does each person want to do to make us work? I'll see you around, okay? Take care.